Okay, hello and welcome to this Q&A session. This is all about being able to sort of share what you've been working on, if you've got any questions about any sort of specific Canva tools and topics. If you'd like to share what you're doing, I will see if I can allow participants to share screen. So you will all be able to share your screen. So I'm going to put it onto gallery view. So has anyone got a burning question, as it were, about Canva or design that I can help them with?
My question is, well, it might not necessarily be about Canva, but so I'm struggling with Twitter images.
Okay.
That they don't seem to fit properly. So when they appear on Twitter, the kind of edges are cut off.
And are you doing them?
Doesn't look great.
So are you doing them to the size that Twitter sort of specifies, and it's still doing it? And is this the post that you're taking the time to resize it to Twitter's more landscape size?
Yeah, so I resized, so I just in Canva just resized an Instagram post.
Yeah.
And just used the resize function.
And does it, and have you used like Canva's got a template and it says it's a Twitter post template? Yeah. Okay, well on that note, then I would say don't trust Canva's templates for toffee, quite frankly. I've experimented with, you know, more so with the cover images, and have found that not all of the templates have worked. Sometimes it's because it's been set up, and then obviously that particular platform has then changed their mind and adjusted the settings, etc. So what I would recommend doing is searching online and seeing if there's any blog posts about the sizes for, or even on Twitter's actual FAQs section, to say what they suggest the Twitter pixel dimension should be for a post, and then make your size to that. Don't assume that that the Canva's templates are correct, because particularly with social media it can vary and change. So I don't know what the dimensions are, and for me to kind of try and look clever, I would just be googling it, and you can do that yourself. So that's where you're having issues, is because if you're using Canva's templates, they've obviously adjusted the sizing since they originally set that up.
Right, okay.
Anybody else?
Marie-Louise, I've got a question about the Canva on iPads. It drives me mad trying to drag and drop things, because you just can't really do that on an iPad in the same way.
In my humble opinion, it's shit. So uninstall it. Because I've got an iPad and I had Canva installed, and I was not impressed with the functionality on there, to the point where I was like, right, well, you know, I wanted to have the choice to be able to use it through the desktop, and the only way to do it through your browser on an iPad was to uninstall the Canva app and then just use it as if you were on a you know, a laptop or whatever. So you will still be able to like copy and paste from one tab to another. There will be maybe some slight limitations because of, you know, more to do with the iPad rather than Canva as such. So, but yeah, that's my recommendation, is to...
Yeah, I was trying to use the desktop version, but it just kept on automatically resending it to the app version. So that's a good point. If I just uninstall it.
Just uninstall it. It's the functionality of the iPad app, they've limited things, and I can see why they've done that, because it's slightly better and easy to use than, say, the mobile app. So it's sort of somewhere in between. But I would just say, if you've got quite a good size screen, if you've got maybe one of these clip-on keyboards for your iPad anyway, just use it as if just use it in your desktop, or use it in a browser like Chrome or Safari or whatever browser you like to use on your iPad.
Thanks.
I've got a question, but this is my first time here, so it may have been asked in previous sessions. So I apologise if it
okay.
has. But to get my fonts and my brand palette uploaded, does it have to be Pro?
For the colour palettes, you can
Yeah.
have up to 3 colours and 1 colour palette in the free. If
Right.
you want to upload bespoke, or not bespoke, but fonts which are not available in Canva, you can only do that if you've got the Pro version. And I would also add a word of caution on that. There has been incidences where people have upgraded, tried to upload a font. There's nothing wrong with the font, but Canva doesn't like it. It's a kind of computer says no. So there is no guarantee, but if you sign up for the, say, 30 days free Pro trial, you can at least test it out there. There's lots of good functions in there.
I am doing the free trial at the moment, and I've got it all uploaded. But what I can't seem to understand is if that's going to disappear if I don't carry on with the Pro.
Once you go past the sort of free period, you'll be able to. So anything that you've got designed already, if you make sure you've downloaded, so you could do like a mass batch of kind of doing as many, download it, but after the trial period ends, I'm not entirely sure what happens actually, but I would imagine that it will either, when you try and download it, it will keep asking you to upgrade, or it could be that it may default to another font. There could be all sorts of things that happen, but after the trial period, there must be something that they do that means that it can no longer work. Whether it kicks out a font, I don't know. So you'll still be able to have all the templates that you've created, but when you download them after that trial period, the font where it's got the special font may look different or be defaulted for something else.
That's interesting. I'll have to have a
But there's no reason why you couldn't be super duper organised and make a point of doing as many for, sort of the next 3 months or something.
Well, what I'm trying to do is just create a few social media templates.
Yeah.
Just to have a batch really. But as I say, I was worried that if I spent the time on them, that once a free trial, it would just disappear. That was what I was a bit worried about. But
I wouldn't have thought the template itself would disappear, but it would, if you wanted to download it after that point and you've got that font in, it may moan at you.
Yeah, it may not work properly.
Or it may look funny when you download it. I haven't done it myself, so I can't say with all authority on it.
No, that's fine. I'll have a play and see what happens.
I guess it's weighing up whether you feel that having that specialist font is enough to stay upgraded. There's certainly lots of good functionality to be in the Pro, and it's not terribly expensive.
No, it's good for flowcharts and things like that, I've found. It's just thank you.
That's okay. Paul Green has said, I find a square works in most platforms and is shit a technical term. Hashtag Canva. Yes. I've got a lot of technical terms and not all of them swear words. It's just how I'm rolling today. I would agree with Paul in terms of post templates. I'm a bit lazy and tend to have them in square format and across the board, but if you want to be a bit fancy, you can resize them. It's just whether you've got the time to do it and the will.
I think on Twitter and some of the social media platforms, it depends where you view them. So if you're viewing them on desktop, it might appear okay, but if you're viewing it on an app on a phone, then it might actually reduce the image size then.
I think you're right. I think it's when you look at it on the phone. It doesn't look great. But
yes, but don't
if you click on it, it's fine.
Yeah, it just opens up. Yeah. I think if you can see a pattern, if you can see how it's automatically cropping the image, then maybe you can design your images so the important words or whatever are in the middle of the image or the top of the image or the bottom. I don't know how it crops them, whether there's a consistency to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just seems to crop the edges.
I think if there's enough of that, people can click on it if they need to see more. And as Paul said, if you sort of keep in mind where you know it's going to crop, then it means that if you you might want to adjust your the template so that your logo doesn't get cropped off, or at least that the main sort of snippet of text that you know is showing, so that people can get a sense of what the post is about. You know, from that whole attention grabbing, you know, drawing the eye to something. People like to skim read what's the headline, and if the headline bit is in the bit which is not being cropped, then I think you're okay. But you can also, as I said before, research the find out the sizing if you want to take that time to resize it properly. Anyone else?
Ask another question, sorry.
Yes, of course you can.
One of the things that I found with travel is a lot of the suppliers that we have will put out offers very quickly that we need to get out really quickly on our social media. But because some of them haven't really caught up with the times, and they're assuming that we're sitting in a shop and this is going to go in the shop window as a poster, it's often sent as a PDF file. So I end up having to, I can't upload that into Canva. I know you can download PDFs in Canva, but you can't upload it as a photo.
Yeah.
So do you have any sort of great ideas on best ways to convert a PDF to a JPEG so that I can upload it into Canva, then put my logo on it, and then download it again as a picture?
So Paul Green has just put a link in the chat, which I'll share with everyone later. So that it says cloudconvert.com, and if you search online, there's lots of different sort of file converters. You can convert like a PDF into a Word document and all sorts. If you want to go really low tech, if you know how to do screenshots, you could literally open up the PDF
I've
and do a
ended up
screenshot.
doing that. I've ended up doing that.
You know, as long as the quality is okay, you could do that if you're comfortable doing that. But probably best practice would be to use some sort of file conversion tool, and there's lots of free ones. Paul has added a load more that he's found. My beautiful assistant. I just need to get you a sparkly shirt, Paul.
See what I can do for next time.
At least a tiara or something, magic wand. So yeah, something like that could be is quite easy to use. But you know, if you find the screen grabs work, you know, sometimes I'm a bit lazy and do screen grabs of things. And
I think that's why I've ended up using the iPad a lot, because I tend to use that for the screenshots. I know that I can get screenshots on the laptop as well, but it seems to be easier with the iPad. And then that's why I've ended up sort of in use with the app version. So I'll experiment with getting the laptop version on the iPad as well.
Yeah, Hayley also shared a online converter thing. So you got some good recommendations there.
I use that one on a weekly basis,
excellent.
So it's very easy to use.
That's good to know.
Thanks.
Anyone else? What about yourself, Andy? I know you're muted and got your screen video off. Are you how long have you been using Canva for?
Thanks. Well, actually, for about a week and a half. So I'm very, very new to it. So
you're a full expert already.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but learning fast. So just sort of like playing around with a few bits and pieces. Okay,
well, there's lots of Canva's got lots of free resources as well as sort of my kind of bits and snippets of training, which I plan to sort of pop up and do bits. There's also YouTube has got lots of free resources, and Canva itself, it's got a whole section on its website where it's got guides to how to, you know, like font pairing, sort of different fonts that work well together.
Yeah, I've been working through those
and stuff like that. So, you know, and also just sort of the templates, just getting out there, just using them and having a play.
Yeah. No, and apologies for being on mute, but it's homeschooling day as well, so it's carnage in the background. So.
It's fine. We get it.
Your pain.
Good. Has anyone else got any kind of questions or anything they want to show me as to what they're working on? You know, this isn't just a Q&A bit. It's if you want to show me your wares, as it were.
I would have, but I've only just saw your email about half an hour ago, so I didn't have anything prepared.
Okay, that's fine.
If I can get one up.
Okay.
You'll probably rip it to shreds.
I downloaded the desktop, ML. He's saying it's still probably better to use the in browser.
Well, I've been using the desktop version for my Mac, and initially I was trying to work out, well, what's the point? There seems to be some very minor differences, but not enough to be like, oh my God, everyone should use it. It does seem to help me with sort of when there's been a bit of shaky internet connection, that it helps that it's not kind of completely falls over, but you still need to have access to some sort of Wi-Fi and internet. So for me, because you still need that access, it seems a bit defunct. I want to sort of look into it a bit more to see if there are any benefits over using just the browser.
I couldn't see any on the surface, but I've not looked at it that much.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using it for my lovely evolution stuff, just because with working in different people's accounts, it's quite handy to just keep mine on the desktop version. And then I tend to use Safari for client work if I'm doing demos and stuff in this. And then I use Chrome additionally as well if I'm doing other client stuff. So I've kind of got 3 places, so it works just for that, so I don't have to keep logging in and out for myself. But from a functional point of view, I can't see any major benefit. Okay, Hayley, you wanted to share your screen, so go
Yeah,
ahead.
so well, I've just got them up as like photos at the moment. Is that the best thing to do?
Well, if you open it up in Canva, it means that
do it in my Canva.
Then I can tell you, make any suggestions, and you can do them.
Okay.
Could put you on the spot.
Hey, why not? Why not? Just make sure I give you the
While you're doing that, I'll just do a bit of a plug that in July, my themed mini masterclass of how to create your own, I'll just get the date up, is Wednesday the 8th of July, is create your own flyer. So Sarah German, who's a member, she's going to be featured in that. So she will be getting the start of a free flyer being created in that. So I'll be talking through that. If you'd like to join that as a one-off, it's £15. I need to sort out an event page, usual lastminute.com. And but it's included if you want to join the membership. So you can either join for 3 months for £60, or it's just £30 a month, and there's no kind of, you're not tied in or have to sell your soul to the devil or anything.
Okay.
So anyway,
do you want me to do it now? I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, go for it. Just bring it up.
I've got some random stuff on here as well.
That's all right. It's a little bit like through the keyhole with this. You get to see what's there.
Right. I don't know which screen can you guys see, because I've got 2 screens on the go here.
I can see one where it says all your designs.
On Canva. Here we go. Can you see
in
that?
Canva. Yep.
Awesome.
I can see a custom ordering process.
Yeah, that's not relevant. I was just having the play. I don't do pizza. So I'm not the best at it. I'm trying to play around with it. I'm not happy with the colours and stuff too much.
Okay.
So yeah, what do you want me to do now?
Well, if you have a little scroll through, I can kind of give you my impressions as a sort of how.
I haven't done many. Yeah, I haven't done a huge amount.
Have a little scroll down for me, please.
That's it. That's all I've got at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. So aside from the pizza one, which I know is just sort of something you just opened
and these random sale ones as well.
Yeah. So the first thing that pops out to me is well, on the social media post, you've got 2 logos, which seems a bit unnecessary because you've got them on either side. So I would probably use one side to sort of have like your website or a telephone number, or one mode of them getting in contact with you. So your preferred method. So if it's an email address, whatever, and it could have a very small call to action of get in contact, and then put your email address or telephone number, or just have it blank. You don't have to have something there. I would say that with the pale purple background, it's kind of blending in a little bit with the purple text on top, you know, with the testimonial. It's not quite enough contrast there from a readability point of view, but also the purple and the yellow in the yellow chevron is buzzing a bit, because if you think about the color wheel, they're kind of on the opposite side, but it's not quite sitting nicely, because they're sort of, I guess, in terms of a shade, if you were to make that grayscale, there wouldn't be much contrast either between that pale purple and the yellow. So it's making your eyes have to kind of squint a bit, but like it's making it work harder. So I would say possibly just making the background white, just keep it clean. Or make the purple a lot paler. So you could try that. If you opened it up, we could give it a go and just see.
So yeah, I took these from the brand palette. I think that's from where I didn't really sort of know what to do with it. So I just went with that.
Well, if you open up that social media.
Is that opened up? Has that come up? Yeah. Oh, it's come up on mine.
You might need to stop sharing and share that tab.
I think I've got to reshare it again, I think, because it's not going to work. No, yeah, it's opening up as a separate tab. So.
Okay, Andy's got to go. Thank you for joining us, Andy, and take care. Make sure to join the lovely Canva Crew free Facebook group. You can watch the playback of this later. Don't know if you heard that. Elizabeth, are you in the Canva Crew, lovely Canva Crew Facebook group?
No, I didn't know about it. So as I said, I only saw your email today. So
well, the link to the Facebook group is in that email. So if you want to share that with Andy and anyone else, it's a free Facebook group, and there's like top tips and stuff. So I put bits in there. So that would be a good place to join. Okay. So so what I like to do when I'm playing with ideas for developing a design is rather than making copies and copies and copies, and then you've got like lots and lots of designs, like when you go to the dashboard, there's millions of them. What I would do is, Hayley, is if you duplicate it, so where at the top of that page, just above the page itself, there's like a little copy icon.
Okay.
And if you if you click on that.
Up here.
It's sort of top right above, you've got like a little corner curl up, and then you've got two stacked.
Oh, these ones, yeah.
Yeah, so if you click on not add new page, the middle
this one,
copy page. So if you go to the top one, so I like the one that we're working on, to work on the top one. So click on the background. You'll have to click off and click.
I've told you I'm not very good at this. It's a learning curve.
You just click off the page.
Yeah.
And then just click on the very edge of the page, because it's quite a big route. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I would probably say go to the colour bit and make it white to start with.
White. Where's white? There.
If you go down into default colours, it's there as well. Yeah. So can you see immediately it's sort of easier?
Yeah, it's easier on the eye.
Yeah. So if you delete one of those, I'd probably delete the left-hand logo personally.
The left one's my main logo, because that's the HR one. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice they're different.
That's okay. But the VA one would be my main one, so I would prefer to shift it over.
Okay. So I would delete the HR one and move
shift
that one over.
Yeah.
And so you could put, you know, you could put like a little strap line or something there saying VA and HR support, so that it, if not having the logo, but like if I didn't even notice, I'd like to think I've got a fairly good eye. Like other people won't notice straight away,
no,
because it is literally just 2 letters,
just 2
difference,
words. Yeah, 2 letters.
between them. So it makes sense that you've got them as sort of in partnership and that you alternate.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Point taken. Definitely.
Yeah. And I would probably also make, if you sort of scroll it up a bit, I would probably make the top chevron in the pink, the top sort of stripy
Make
bits.
it pink. Yeah.
Yeah. Make that one pink. And make the bottom one the yellow. And what that means is that when you put, if you want to put a little strap line kind of next to it at the bottom, you could have that in the pink and there'll be a nice balance. So if you bring it, if you bring in a text box, so if you go to text and just sort of add just any of those, it doesn't really matter. And then make it a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And move it down. So I'd just put in a strap line. So for now, you could just put, like I said, VA HR support, and you can change that. I would make it the pink. And I'd probably make it, okay, so I know you're scrolling, like using the corner thing.
Best not to do that. Okay.
So it's okay a little bit, but just be careful when you download it. Look at how it, just check the sizing of it, because I've been caught out that for some reason it Canva occasionally throws a little hissy fit. It's another technical term there, for especially for Paul. Where it you think it's the right size, you visually it looks good in Canva, but you download it and it's a completely different size.
Okay.
So where possible, make a point of using the size tool in terms of clicking on it on the text and sizing it in the where it's got the drop down menu and sizing it.
So is it best to do it with the font size?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even know what these ones are coming up as.
So I'd say probably that's about enough start. And so I would just sort of pull out the and then sort of line it up, so visually it sort of it lines up on the bottom, same line as a Virtue VA. So you'd have to move it down a little bit more because the P is descending down, so you need to tap it down a little bit lower.
Yeah, like that. That was the next tap down.
If you click off it and move, we'll probably tap it up a little bit higher. What you can do is use just a element, like and just click on elements and search for a line. So just click line, or type line, and then just any of those. And you can use that as a guide. So when if you click it, so it comes onto the page. There we go. So what you can do is sort of pull it out at the end so it's longer, and then tap it so it's at the bottom of that. And you could make it another size. So you want it so it's on the baseline of Virtue VA text.
Okay. So
it's like touching the bottom of the V. And this is where you might want to zoom in sort of quite close in, sort of at say 150%. So at the bottom of the page, it's currently at 45%.
Oh, right, you were hidden by you.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. And if you close the Elements tab, it will also give you a bit more space to look at.
Yeah. Okay, and then
So it means you'll need to click off because it's clicking on a number of things. So this is where you can bring it up a bit so it matches. And it can be a bit fiddly.
I feel I've got chubby fingers because everyone's watching me as well.
Well, now you know how I feel. This is what
no pressure.
Like. No pressure. I would also say when you're using a element like a line as a guide, I would also make it say like if you click on the line itself and then make it semi-transparent. So click on it and then go to where there's like the chevron thing. Yeah, and make it like say 50%.
That didn't work. Okay, so you can see.
Yeah, and you could also make it a colour that is totally not one of your brand colours, so you don't accidentally. So like in your case, making it like a luminous green, or you know, something like that, or you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Or blue. And it just means that, so you can now see that it's still not quite lined up, so you could fiddle with it a bit more.
Yeah.
But if you zoom out, so if you put it to the view where it's to fit, so at the bottom, yeah. So if you duplicate this page, so if you keep this one where you've got the template,
and do the copy.
It. Yep, copy. And then go to the top one.
Yeah.
So if you delete that line, and then you can kind of get a view. So I know there's still a little bit of fiddling to do, but you can now see the difference between what you started with, which was a little bit difficult to read, to now that definitely. It's a bit cleaner and simpler, and just sort of, you know, there's a balance because you've got the pink chevron at the top balancing with the wording at the bottom. Another quick tip, and this is sort of a more of a general design thing, is you've got something in with text called widows and orphans, and I can't remember which one is which, but basically at the moment you've got the word me at the end of the quote all on its own. So I think that's called an orphan. So what you want to do is just before the word for, you want to put a forced line break so it taps down to the next line. But you've got an extra space. You didn't do it just before the F.
Sorry, say that again.
So if you click like the line break now,
like that.
There you go. Yeah, it's just that you did it before the space, and so it's bringing the space over. So can you see if you click off that kind of reads a bit better? The me isn't kind of on its own, and actually it helps the overall text block to sort of visually look a bit more lined up and nicer. So that's a sort of, I mean, you wouldn't need to necessarily do that every time for everything that you do, but it is something that I do in terms of typesetting, and sort of with something like this where it just helps it look nice and it's, you know, easier. So like on a big document or a report, you probably wouldn't necessarily go through and do all of that, because if you then start editing it, then it does funny things. You've got to be really on top of it. But in something like this, where it's, you know, it's a very small amount of text relatively, it makes a big difference.
No, definitely. Thank you so much. That's given me some real good tips there. So thank you. So,
okay, well, if you want to stop sharing,
I will
check if anyone's got final questions. We've got about 4 minutes left until we get kicked off.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So did anyone sort of find that particularly useful, sort of watching, sort of, you know, from a design point of view, just making sure that, you know, obviously there's things like being consistent with your colours and stuff. So by Hayley already setting up her colour and font palettes in the brand kit, that helps. But also just sort of making sure that there's a good amount of contrast, and, you know, if in doubt, just have it on white. You know, you can't kind of go wrong with that. Yes, it can be nice to add sort of a bit of interest in the background, but you need to make sure that if people are glancing at what that is, can they read it? Because if people have got to squint at it or work it out because the font is too swirly and whirly, the technical term, it's gonna, you know, people haven't got time to figure it out. You've got like seconds, you know, to grab someone's attention to read it, you know, when people are scrolling through, particularly on social media, but you could argue like anywhere and everywhere. So any final questions?
And I thought that was quite a good tip, actually, using an element for spacing, because I've really struggled with that, and also zooming in. So I was doing something the other day where I was trying to kind of get hexagons evenly spaced, and it was really difficult.
Yeah, it's just make use of the zoom in and out tool. I guess it's something that may seem obvious after you like realize it's there, but you know, when you're focusing on learning all these other things, it can be easy to forget that it's there, but it does make all the difference. You know, you can argue that designing is just kind of lining things up really, but it does make a big difference. You'll notice that, Hayley, when you go into it and really fiddle and make it just right and get the balance, that when you remove that line, you'll go, yeah, you know, it makes all the
definitely
difference.
I never thought of doing it like that, to be fair. So
yeah, I mean, you can use any of the elements as kind of guides. So, you know, I've used the circle tool to sort of block out where a profile picture might be when I'm working out what to avoid when designing it. You can do it sort of, if you want to sort of show any edges that might be hidden, just make sure you delete that element before you download it, or, you know, copy the page and make sure you download the right page for that.
great.
Cool. Okay, well, we've got less than a minute, so I shall say goodbye. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. The next one will be, I can't remember the date, Wednesday the 22nd of July is the next one, according to my Canva flyer on the page, on the group. So join us then, and have a good rest of the week.
Thanks ever so much.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Thanks,
everyone.
bye.